What's going on, everybody? Bowman1951 here. I love top 10 lists. Anybody that puts those out on YouTube, they're great. I unfortunately do not buy big enough cards throughout the year to showcase my own top 10 card list. So I figured let's bypass that and just do like a top 10 wish list out of the sports card hobby for 2020. So without further ado, let's just get right into that. They're in no particular order, and we're going to start out with number 10 now. So I figured let's be controversial right off the bat. We're going to start out with the National Sports Card Convention. This year it's going to be held in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Boo! Who wants to go to Atlantic City? I mean, granted, I went there as a kid, walked the boardwalk and went out to the beaches and everything, but Atlantic City just isn't what it used to be. People have seen Boardwalk Empire on HBO. You know, it's always been kind of roughshod and shady. And it is just taking a turn for the worst. A lot of the casinos have closed. And it is just not a hotbed of activity in terms of sports cards. I mean, is there a sports card shop in the area? So my request, my wish for 2020 is get them off the circuit, which right now stands at Chicago, Cleveland, Atlantic City. And let's move it to a major hub. Whether it be West Coast, East Coast, it could be moved around. Let's try Vegas. We could try any of the major megalopolises on the East Coast. I think it was in Baltimore in the past. So let's go with Philadelphia, Boston, New York City, any of those, but just no more Atlantic City. First and foremost, there is no major airport that goes in and out of that area. The biggest airport is going to be in Philadelphia. So if you want to fly into Philly, if you're on the West Coast right now, you're gonna take probably an hour and a half, either train ride, an Uber, Lyft ride down, or rent a car. And it's just not a pleasant experience in a place to be for a sports card convention. So let's make 2020 the last year, although I think they have long-term contracts and unfortunately can't do that. So that is wish number 1 of my top 10 list for things I want to see change in the sports card hobby out of 2020. Let's move on to number 9. Next up on my wish list, let's have more sports card shops open, brick and mortar style, around the country. I've been blessed here in the New England area to have probably 4 or 5 open up within an hour's driving distance with me. I've showcased a few of them on my channel here, and it's just been a pleasure to actually see those out in the wild again. You know, many closed in the late 80s, early 90s, and it's just become a desert landscape of very few sports card shops. And I'll have people comment on my videos that, you know, they're so happy to see that they're out there again because they still don't have any within at least an hour's drive of their own home. A lot of these people are in the Midwest. So let's just continue to see that happen. You know, the retail landscape is continuously changing. It's getting better for some industries and not so good for others. You know, this is a positive activity. I see younger guys on YouTube like Card Collector 2 open up card shops in the Midwest there, and it's just a really nice thing to see. And you know, if you've ever thought about getting into a business and venturing into something, do a lot of research on it beforehand and how hard it is to get access to the latest products to be sold in the store. But I mean, you can start off grabbing that stuff from other locations or other vendors and just building up a supply of cards for yourself that you can sell in your showcases and in dollar bins, quarter bins. Have activity nights for the kids, pizza nights. Don't just focus on sports cards. Have things like Magic cards, Pokemon, things like that. And a lot of these places are going to succeed long term as long as they're doing everything correctly. So more sports card shops in 2020. Let's see it happen, everybody. Get out there and support your local businesses if you do have one around you as well. All right, coming in, number 8 on my list. Let's bring in more cheap products for the kids. Some entry-level stuff like opening day we have for baseball. We've got probably, I would say, hoops for the NBA cards. And a score would be a good entry point for the NFL, but there need to be more of these, and they need to come up at a much lower price point, maybe $1 to $2 max per pack. Kids don't need to focus on the hits. And when I say kids, I'm talking, let's get them started like around the age of 8 to 10. I think that's a good place. A lot of us started when we were collecting in the 80s and 90s. And there just needs to be a price point where they can afford them. And it's just not about the investing aspect. We'll get into that later. Of sports cards, but more about the collecting and they just need to, you know, make a lot more sets available to the kids that are smaller. Say start them out at 100 or 200 cards, but you know, put good bases in there of, you know, if it's NBA, make it an easy hit for that base card of a Zion Williamson for a child to get, or a Mike Trout out of the baseball. And I've seen that in opening day. So Topps is pretty good about this. I don't know how decent Panini is at it, but we need more entry level. We need more kids in the hobby if this is going to survive for the next you know, few decades, while more people that are growing up age out, they pass away and leave these cards to their kids and then to their grandkids. Who's going to be interested in a piece of cardboard in even 100 years? Well, time will tell, but let's keep those kids in mind, and affordable at the base level for packs to buy. All right, we're down to number 7. I want to see from all the major manufacturers upfront print runs of what is going on with our products and how many they're putting out there. Maybe this is difficult to do because they start out, they start printing, say, Topps Chrome Update. Oh wow, they're flying off the shelves at Target. So let's go ahead and do wave number 3, number 4, number 5, and they're out there for 2 or 3 months in the stores. So I don't know if that's how it works. If somebody's got some insider info, leave a comment down below. Let me know if that's if I'm in the right ballpark there. But bottom line, we at least need to know a rough idea of how many cards are being printed, and we can sort of do that with the odds that are placed on the boxes themselves. But I don't understand why it's a mystery, and we need to know just how many short prints there are of something. You know, the bat down Ronald Acuna last year as an example. There's been wild speculation that they run anywhere from, say, 2,000 to 10,000 that were printed. That's a wide range, and there's no consensus on where they come in on that. So Topps, Panini, Upper Deck, come on, man. Let's just be upfront with your customers. Let us know how many available cards are of each. It'll just make the collecting easier overall. Let's put it that way. All right, we're down to number 6. I can understand with all the manufacturers that it can be very difficult to have your hottest prospect out there sign, say, 1,000 autographs in a session. But let's start severely limiting the points from Panini and redemptions from, I think they come in from all companies. It's just gotten out of hand, and especially the points. Like, is anybody out there excited when they pull points? There might be a few of you, but you go and look at the list of things that you can get with those points, and it's not that exciting unless you're collecting an enormous amount, and then you got to go out in the secondary market and buy more of them. It's just, I don't know. It's campy to me. I don't like it, and I'd love to see them maybe show up in every 1 out of, say, 20 hobby boxes versus, like, right now it could be 1 out of every 2 or every 3 out of a Panini product. Redemption, same thing. Again, I understand it can't be controlled. If you've got a hot, you know, let's Fernando Tatis as an example. I've seen a lot of his redemptions recently, and we just need to stop promising these autographs and even taking 3 or 4 years for them to arrive, or letting down somebody after the fact. You know, plenty of time has passed and they say, oh, this can no longer be fulfilled. So there are a lot of gimmicks and tricks with these 2 things that the manufacturers just, I don't know, improve it somehow, please. Let's see Topps have a redemption situation where if something's older than like 2 years, to phase that out and give us a replacement. Don't say we don't get anything at all. I understand if somebody's sitting on a product for 30 years, that redemption probably shouldn't be fulfilled, but give us a timeline that's a little more realistic. Maybe 5 years would be nice. So plenty of things have been done in that aspect of the hobby. Number 5. It's going to be another controversial one. I want to see Panini stop making baseball cards altogether. I hate them. I hate that they can't use the logos, and it just needs to be done. It just needs to stop. You're never going to get the license back. It's why doesn't Topps try to make NFL cards anymore? Because that would be really silly, and it already is silly for Panini. And and maybe you like to collect Panini cards. God bless your heart. I am not that kind of person. I need to see that the player plays for the Red Sox and a little bit more action behind the shots. And I don't know. It's just they're not for me. You know, they top shut out Panini back in 2009, and then they went and got the Dunder's brand, and they still have the rated rookie out there, which sort of keeps them alive. I mean, that's really the only thing Panini has going for them in terms of baseball. The rest of it is just absolute garbage to me. It doesn't sell well in the secondary market, and I don't know. Panini, just give it up, man. Just be done with it. Stick with your soccer cards, your basketball cards, your American football cards, but baseball, no. Get out. Number 4, and it really grinds my gears. Stop calling sports cards an investment, people. Do they pay dividends? Nope. Do they have tax advantages to them offered by the government? Nope. Do they have a commodity-based exchange somewhere that is regulated by the government? Nope. So if you answered no to all 3 of those questions, there is no good reason for us to call sports cards an investment at all. They are a commodity that we're speculating on for prices to go up in the future. That is it, people. I don't know. This one really, really bothers me. And let's just stop, you know, starting January 1. Don't call what you have in your collection an investment. I don't even care if it's a Mike Trout rookie card, a Tom Brady rookie card, a Michael Jordan. Those will likely go up in value, but there are tax consequences on the front end, on the back end, and for all that are involved, I don't know. It's a gimmick that there are some channels out there that have started to use that term far too often, and buying sealed product. There's a good one. You're out at your local Target, you find some of your NBA Prism, and it's there for $20 a mega box, and you go online, you're like, I'm putting this up for $30 on Facebook, and I just made this wonderful investment. No, you didn't. That's ridiculous. There's too much to get into again. I already went over the tax implications and everything else, so just stop calling them investments, people. That's all I ask for 2020. We're down to 3 left. We have yet to talk about any of the scandals involving the grading companies. About to do that now. So I want to see the third-party graders, all 3 of the majors, actually get serious about, you know, stopping some of the trimming in the future and all the issues that go along with that. You know, get serious about, I don't know, just using a black light when you're reviewing the cards to see if there are rebuilt corners on them. Let's start with a database of all the serial numbered cards going in and out. The companies are jumping around, and can you please all share data with one another, and let's just get a better idea and a sense of this 81 out of 100 LeBron rookie has been through grading 4 times now, and each time it's gotten a slight bump up in grade, whether it was, you know, magically altered via a trimmer. The front was rubbed down with a fingerprint. That's not so bad, but you know, there's just things that we could just do a better job on. As the third-party graders, the more trusted, hopefully in the future, they just need to get dead serious about stopping this scandal. I'm sick of reading on Blowout, week in and week out, new trimmer and new cards are being unearthed, and it's starting to have a major impact on our beloved hobby, and it's going to hurt the values long term if you're just not trusted. Get with it, guys, and get serious. Let us know up front exactly what you're doing. Be more transparent about all these changes, and I think the hobby will be okay long term. Number 2. This one's also going to be related to the sports card trimming scandals. FBI, if you are watching this and you are listening, let's see some arrests in 2020, all right? This has gone on for far too long, and I understand there's a lot of evidence that needs to be collected, but I want to see some heads roll. I want to see jail time. I want to see big fines paid by the companies that were working with these guys. There has to be some, like, I don't know, some random laboratory set up somewhere, and that's completely busted and taken down, and all the trimming or reprint printers, whatever it may be. Let's get rid of it. Let's get the bad actors out of this hobby. And once and for all, they already seem to be on the run, are aware that, you know, BOTA, the Blowout Detective Agency, has been on their case and found the cards in the databases, and they're just, they're scattered. They're running around, they're like little rats, and they're heading to the far reaches of this hobby, hoping to never be found. But there's got to be heads rolling. Let's do it. And this is a really big one for me. I almost made this one #1, but there's even one bigger for me, and that's coming right up now. And finally, #1, lastly on my list is, everybody, let's just have more fun in this hobby. It's a hobby first and foremost. Let's forget about the monetary value of certain things. If you like a team, if you like a certain player, go out and collect their parallels. Go out and collect. It doesn't matter if they're going to be worth maybe $10,000 in the future for the rookie card or autograph. Who cares? Like, this is a hobby first and foremost. A lot of it we were brought up with our relatives or our family and parents bringing us into this hobby, and it got greedy. In the 80s and 90s, it got totally greedy, and the print runs got out of control, and I don't know, it's almost got ruined. And I don't want to see that happen as the sports card market sort of ramped up again in the last few years, and greed take over and ultimately bring it to a recession again. So I love this hobby. I love the people, the social aspects surrounding it, and I just want to see that continue. So go out and chase those base cards of your favorite players. And not everybody collects a Mike Trout or LeBron James or Michael Jordan, Tom Brady, whomever. You know, you can get a couple Tom Brady base cards from whatever year for 75 cents a piece, and collect those. They're never going to be worth, you know, $1,000 down the road. So just go out and have fun. There's not much more I can add on top of that. I'm trying to do so myself, and it's a big wish of my own for 2020 that I hope to continue, and I want to see from others around the community. So thank you all so much for listening to this little crazy top 10 I put together tonight, and hope to see all of your wonderful collections moving forward into the new decade and beyond, as the hobby continues to grow and we bring more people in. And I want to see more of the same from all you content creators out there. Just could be any particular topic, anything related to sports cards. As we leave 2019, head off into the new decade, I'm really looking forward to it, and hope you are too. So we'll see you at the next video. Bowman1951 out!